Well, today we're getting swarm traps ready. So I'll talk to you guys a little bit about swarms and swarm traps. The swarm is the way that the bees reproduce. The bees that they make inside the colony is like cell replacement in any other organism, and their reproduction is splitting the colony. So when the colony gets filled up in the spring, when we've got flow coming in and they're bringing in that nectar, which is 80% water, they fill up all of the cells very quickly, and they're trying to spread it out so that they can dry it. They can't put that really wet stuff all in one cell. They can't get it dry right, so they're spreading it around in all the holes. Well, as soon as there's some nectar in a cell, the queen can't lay an egg in it. As soon as they get to the point the queen can't lay an egg, they make queen cells and get ready to swarm. So that the queen will leave with 50% or so of the mature adult bees that are in there. They will consume a bunch of nectar and honey to take with them to draw more comb in the new home, and they'll fly out. They'll fly as far as the queen can, land on a tree, and then the scouts go find a new home. When they find it, they move into that home. So if you get called on a swarm call, you have to go now. You can't screw around and waiting, oh, I can get there tomorrow, I can be there tomorrow after work. There's a really good chance they won't still be there. The other thing is, there's not always just one queen in there. Sometimes, especially if weather holds them back, those queens will emerge. They'll all live happily in that colony because that energy and vibration from the swarm ideal, it keeps them excited. And when that main queen swarms, a lot of times a bunch of the virgins will go with them. So Rodney, my buddy, South Carolina, runs them all through a queen excluder so he can find those extras and not just dump them all in one box. He has a queen excluder on the bottom of a box, runs the bees through it with a box with frames underneath, smokes them down. They can all get through but the queens, and he can grab the queens and sort them out and figure out who's who. So that's what the bees do to split the colony. If you put swarm traps out, they're going to swarm to a branch, just like we explained, and then they're going to find a new home. And what we want them to do is find our swarm trap as their home. So this means I don't have to run out instantly and get it. They can move in here and live for a while. So I have mine set up with this French cleat that goes on the tree, and I ratchet strap it on, and then I can just hang the box on it. And I've had boxes hang all winter through storms on that and not be a problem. I don't need a screw gun to put it on or take it off. You want a swarm trap with room. So this has frames that come about halfway, so the whole bottom is empty. When they come in it, they see massive space. And then I have some frames in here that just have a starter strip, because I do want them to draw it straight and not sideways. And I've got old nasty looking stuff that I don't want them drawn on at all, but they can fix it if they want. And I've got just a foundation sheet right in the middle to try to keep everything running the same direction. If you put these all in empty, they will draw across them like this. And it's a booger to clean these out when they go straight down. So you want to hang your swarm traps in places that the wind blows through. You don't want to stick them down in a hole someplace. You want them out on a point. You want them preferably close to water. It's what bees like. They like it to be back in the shade a little bit, but easily open to, accessible to open area. So along the edges of fields, creeks, those things are good. But again, you want the wind to be able to blow across it, because you want the smell of this box to spread as far as it can, so any bees looking can find it and get to it. And you're going to use a lure. This is Swarm Commander. It's lemongrass oil and a bunch of other stuff. It works a little better than lemongrass oil. Lemongrass oil will work if that's what you got. And I bought this bottle of Swarm Commander 5 or 6 years ago, and it's still half full. It goes a long ways. You just want I want a squirt up on top, and I want a squirt around the hole. I've built these with a little flapper, so when I get to them, I can just, and they're full, I can just close that down. Bam, they're locked in there. Pull it down off of the tree and go. I like mine camouflage because they look cool, and sometimes they can be hard to see in there. You don't need to hang these real high. I bought a 12-foot extendable ladder, and so the first ones I ever did with it, I put them up, you know, as high as I could reach out the top of a ladder. Well, when that's full of bees, it's a little dangerous to get that back down. That ladder doesn't stay on the tree very well, and it's heavy, and you know, you're on uneven ground where the ladder base is. So these don't have to be that high. You do want them up a little bit, but you know, 2 or 3 steps on a ladder, and then, you know, you reach up to place the trap. That's plenty high. The only reason to put them any higher is if you think you might have vandals that are going to mess with it. Other than that, they don't need to be, you know, clear up in the air where it's dangerous for you to get up and get them. So anyhow, I hope that helps you guys with a little bit of swarm catching stuff, so you can get out and get some free bees this year. The wild bees are good. The other thing to remember is that queen, you know, unless it's a virgin queen in the swarm, which you can get in after swarms and such, but that queen's an old queen. She's, you know, last year's queen. So you may want to let her get established and then transfer to a nuke and let them make another queen off of her eggs, or pull some out and let them make a queen. So you have a queen from her. And I've seen it not be that uncommon that they supersede her fairly soon after they get the new one established. Because she's just an older queen, and we don't know. She might be 2 years old. She might not have swarmed last year because they didn't get full enough. So you just don't know that much about her. So, you know, a backup off of that genetics is great. So anyhow, I hope you guys catch a bunch of swarms this year. Let me know how your swarm catching goes.